are here for the Lapdown podcast. I am your host for the night, Ryan. With me tonight, we've got Jayme and Tyler. Unfortunately, our usual host, Greg, was not able to be here tonight. He is dealing with a personal matter, so we're wishing the best for him. But we have had a very busy week here in the world of NASCAR. Jayme, Tyler, how you guys doing tonight?
Not too bad, you?
Doing good, doing good. Ready to
All
get this
right.
rolling, Ryan.
Yeah, doing really good. And yeah, so as I said, it was a very busy news week, but I think all eyes need to be turned to the first story of the week and absolutely the most important. Stuart Friesen earlier this week involved in a very scary crash in a dirt modified car. If you guys haven't seen it, be warned before you check it out. It is
It's
a
brutal.
gnarly crash to see. And yeah, glad to see he's okay. He's still in, I believe, serious is still the labeled condition. I saw
He's stable,
uh,
as the last I saw.
stable. Okay, stable but serious, right?
Hmm.
So, but yeah, I think I saw two pelvic fractures along with a fractured leg, which is just an insane combination of injuries. He'll be getting He's in the process, I believe, of getting transported to a hospital in New York where he will undergo surgeries for those, but likely will be out for the remainder of the Truck Series season. So, yeah, all eyes will be turned towards obviously who will be taking that spot both in the drivers' playoffs and who will be taking over the number 52 truck, right? For whatever reason, I just got completely forgot what number he drove. But yeah, so the number 52
52.
truck,
Yep.
as it heads into the owners' playoffs, as Friesen did get a win earlier this summer, well, obviously won't be able to finish out the season. But yeah, again, first and foremost, always thoughts and prayers going to the driver there involved in that crash. Jayme, Tyler, you guys got some thoughts on this one? Obviously, I'm sure Tyler's got plenty of them.
Well, actually, but since I have family connections with Stuart Friesen, my father used to know him very well. He used to race with him back in early 2000s. So I've met him a couple times. He's a cool dude. I actually literally like my heart stopped when I saw that crash. I actually like after watching it the first time, I thought he was killed for the one until I said he was being taken off in a stretcher and communicating. I'm like, wow. That shows you the true dangers of open mill high speed dirt tracks like that too as well.
Yep. Jayme, any thoughts?
Um, well, first off, definitely wishing him the best in his recovery and uh, just wanting him to get healthy and be able to still live a normal life. That's first and foremost. Uh, the other thing that I see in this is more like NASCAR policy. As much as we like to let our guys go and do dirt tracks and do the things that they may enjoy, these these drivers are company assets, and they can't be putting themselves at risk in dirt track racing, especially during the season. If they want to go and do stuff off like out of the season, I'm cool with that. But I don't know. It just seems to me like we've seen too many incidences now, like just in the past like 5 6 years of drivers getting hurt outside of NASCAR races.
Alex
So
Bowman, Chase Elliott. I think another one was there was another cup. I think was it an Xfinity or was it a cup another cup driver? I don't remember.
I know Ty Gibbs escaped a scary sprint car crash earlier
Yeah,
this year.
Kyle Larson's
Ugh.
had a couple scary crashes too in high limits.
Yeah, Bell's had some scary crashes in the offseason. I think he had one, I think, in an Australian sprint car crash
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
a couple years ago, right before the season.
And Kyle Larson had a nasty flip at the Chili Bowl before the season started.
But yeah, I will say though, when it comes to Stuart Friesen specifically, wonder if his team owner will sit him down and have a long, hard conversation, Stuart Friesen to Stuart Friesen, on that one, considering he is an owner driver. So,
One of the rare types nowadays.
yeah,
yeah,
but what are you guys thoughts on that? Like, should NASCAR institute a policy where it kind of protects their assets?
is go ahead, Ryan. I have a couple opinions.
Yeah, I think I agree with the idea that it is a policy that I can understand where some people would come from, and honestly, I think it should be left up to a team by team thing. If a team owner thinks it's worth the risk, no, and if it's something to for example with Kyle Larson and going to when he was in the off season, going between or even Christopher Bell in the past choosing between one team over another, the ability to continue his dirt track racing was a contributing factor to where he was going to go. So I think it should be left up to the teams to decide if they think the risk is worth the reward. And I think in some cases it won't be worth the reward, and some teams and some drivers will have that clause in their contracts. But I think there will be some drivers who teams just let off the leash.
Now, with my opinion, I mean, like I said, I do agree with the team discretion. But like I said, but with Kyle, like cases like Kyle Larson and stuff like that, do you really think Kyle Larson's going to really? I mean, as much as I hate to say it, he loves dirt racing more than does asphalt racing. He's said that in plenty of interviews.
Yeah.
So if Kendrick said no, I wouldn't shock me if Kyle Larson were to dip out and go do a dirt race instead, because he much prefers that. He enjoys it way more. And yes, he's a superstar driver. Don't get me wrong. And it would hurt to lose it. That's why Hendrick's been more lenient on that, is because he doesn't want to lose a high caliber driver like Kyle Larson.
Yeah, well, and I'm wondering, would Larson just jump ship to another team that would let him go dirt wild if Hendrick were to start putting those restrictions in?
The only other one I could see that probably would let him do it would probably be Penske, because I know Joe Gibbs has tried to bar Christopher Bell and I believe Chase Briscoe. Now I don't know about Chase Briscoe, but I know a couple other drivers that he's had that he barred them from doing outside stuff because his drivers are valuable.
Even did it to Ty Gibbs after that wreck.
Yeah.
Yeah, so again, though, I think it makes way more sense to leave it as a team by team thing rather than having the sanctioning body trying to step in and police that kind of policy.
If NASCAR did, a lot of the drivers would be outraged because, I mean, even besides dirt, there's other drivers that go like do late model races
Cars
and
tour.
car story up, modified races, and some of them even go karting every once in a while, and legends racing, like Stan Van Gisbergen winning, I believe, at Charlotte the other day, I believe.
Yep, winning his first oval.
And before the haters count, that counts. The Legend Series is a NASCAR sanctioned sport.
Yeah, and that's where again the question of restrictions would come in, because if NASCAR or even the teams in the situation start restricting dirt racing, when do they start restricting? Because I mean, we've seen drivers get injured in. I mean, obviously we've seen Kyle Larson and other drivers be interested in potentially doing the double at Indy. We've even seen drivers like Kyle Busch get injured driving in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. In addition,
And
to
still
the
won
Cup Series
and
stuff.
still won the championship that year.
Yeah, so it's a very slippery slope when you start talking about reducing driver schedules due to risk, because all auto racing carries risk with it.
Yeah, I mean, the difference there is those are NASCAR sanctioned events,
Yeah,
so they could still race under that NASCAR umbrella. Now, if NASCAR were to sanction, let's say NASCAR sponsors the Chili Bowl, then sure, Kyle Larson, have at it.
yeah. Well,
Kyle Larson's
NASCAR
actually
will
thought
not buy
about asking NASCAR to sponsor his high limits. He's actually NASCAR's didn't want to, because they don't really particular and not as interested in the dirt scene as they are the asphalt scene.
But yeah, so I mean that's just something that will be a conversation and probably
Before
will stay a
before we continue, now, okay, so like I said about the dirt, like what's this about the dirt racing thing, like, yeah, I get it. It's all sports has a high risk. If you think about it, letting drivers run other disciplines also keeps their skills sharp, because you can translate skills from other series into the Cup series, especially with the dynamic flow of the schedule, with having road courses, short ovals, and all that. They all drive. Most of the cookie cutters drive the same, but you get what I mean. Like, you can use different techniques from different series to help you gain advantage at all the different types of tracks as well.
Yeah, I mean, how often do we talk about Kyle Larson's dirt experience giving him such an advantage at tracks like Homestead or Kansas, where the high line
Like Tyler Reddick too, as well.
Exactly. Reddick, Bell, all these drivers with the dirt experience is such an asset to them at some of
And
these
then you got
high
SVG, and then obviously SVG, AJ Allmendinger, Michael McDowell all had road course and open wheel experience. They know how to run road very easy. Like, these, like, using translating skills. I mean, yes, a stock car is a completely different. Like, a cup car is probably the most different from any of the series we're talking about, except for maybe sports cars. It's about as close to a V8 supercar or a GT3 car as you can get without being classified as a stock car.
Yeah. So, any last thoughts on that before we move on?
I think I'm good.
All right. So, real quick, we'll go through a quick free agency update, as there was one driver signing in the week. Denny Hamlin has now signed a multi-year extension with Joe Gibbs that will keep him behind the wheel of the number 11 car through at least his age 46 season. Which will keep him behind the wheel through at least the 2027 season.
Season, yep.
So, Denny Hamlin is locked down for another 2 years. Could this be his final contract? What do you guys think? Do you think he will retire at the end of these 2 seasons?
I think he will.
I
think,
kind of.
Yeah, I think that come when he turn, you said till he turns 48, correct?
46.
No, 46. His age 46 will be.
Yeah, we're getting in at the age range of like that echelon where I look at like Jack Force and like guys who, sure, Denny could probably still compete at a high level, but I think it all depends on this whole 2311 thing.
Mm-hmm.
If they can get things figured out to where he can just focus on being an owner, with Michael Jordan just being that week in, week out face at the racetrack for that team, then that will be his last race. I see that final year being his like send off year if everything goes according to plan, and then he just takes the Dale Jr. role of being a race team owner and just taking a step back, maybe doing some part-time stuff every now and again,
Maybe,
just because he loves racing. But
like, run the 500 like Truex did, and then call it good.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, one thing he did say in an interview this week when asked the question is that he did say he wants to be competitive and have a shot to win when he does run that final cup race. He doesn't want to say extend a career 5 years past when his window to win races are. Jimmy Johnson.
I honestly think in that like one-off, like with the 500, I think he would probably go for like run his own team as like a. If maybe let's just play a theoretical. If 2311 and Front Row win lawsuit and they get all that thing, maybe Denny leases a Force Charger and runs his final race as for his own team.
Well, he wouldn't need a charter if he's only running one race. If he's running a full season, then yeah, he would need the charter. Not to mention, I don't think they can actually use 4 charters under the new charter agreement. I think teams are limited to 3, aside from the grandfathered in Hendrick and Gibbs.
Yep.
So they couldn't even bring in that charter. Now, he could drive for Tricon Garage, which would be a satellite team. Which
right.
Use those air quotes extremely loosely on that.
What's your thoughts on it, though, Ryan?
Again, I kind of mentioned this before we went on the air. the language multi-year also doesn't guarantee that it's only a 2-year contract. It could be a third year. It could have a third-year driver option. Could be a third-year team option. We just don't know what the language in the contract is because, unlike most professional sports, the contract details are not public knowledge. So, I don't know. I think it's one of those things where we'll have to wait and see how he maintains because once you kind of pass that age 43, age 44, we see the fall off for a lot of drivers. Harvick.
Tom Brady.
Well, I was thinking specifically in motorsports because motorsports is significantly different, but yeah, you see a lot of
Jimmy Johnson.
slide down that ranks.
Kevin Harvick.
Yeah,
which is the
he
most
was
recent
one
one
I
if you think about
there
it.
while you were coughing Tom Brady's name.
But
yeah, I mean,
no, but seriously though,
Jr.
like,
the
unless you're Mark Martin,
around then. I think Junior's was a little earlier due to
unless you're
concussion.
yeah, Dale Jr. retired, I think, at 42, I believe.
Yeah, and he went winless the final year or two of his career.
Well, last win was in Phoenix of 2015, so yes, it was the final 2 years. And
all right, so moving on though to our last bit of pre-week news, which was the rumor that started to circulate, and I saw it covered by Adam Stern earlier today, that Mexico City will be taking at least a 1-year hiatus in favor of, again, rumor has it, Chicagoland. This has not been officially reported, but Adam Stern, a very reputable journalist, I think pretty much everybody, all of us in the industry, trust when he speaks that he knows what he's talking about. So, and just to add on to the reasoning why Mexico would be taking a year off, the stadium section that NASCAR has in that track will be being actively used for a World Cup match throughout that summer, so it won't be usable as a racetrack in those summer months when NASCAR would want to schedule Mexico again. So,
right,
ultimately, it makes sense that it might need to take a 1-year hiatus, and then hopefully NASCAR will be able to head back down there because I don't think that track deserved to be a one and done, but obviously I think
it was not a bad race,
especially the nostalgic, especially the more nostalgic of us, are really excited for the other half of that news announcement, which is Chicagoland Speedway maybe making a return to the NASCAR Cup Series. Jamie, you want to go ahead and share some thoughts?
Well, first and foremost, I do like the Mexico City course. I thought it was a cool track. It definitely gave me like classic road course vibes, but with the key point of the S turns being right there in a stadium is just super cool to see. So kind of a bummer that we're not going to see it again next year, but I understand why because of the World Cup matches and all the upkeep that has to come with that stadium. I understand that. Chicago, it got a lot of hate. It did, but it's one of my more favorite tracks to watch. And I'm just excited to see it come back. Hopefully, they make it a night race, and I would love to see it as a night race. Just to kind of, sorry, I'm using my phone right now, Ryan, so I can't hit up the panel.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, my MacBook's dead, and I didn't have time to get it charged.
All right, well, I can provide us.
Say it. But going into turn 3 and 4 for the win, all of a sudden you're going to hear Dale Jr. on TNT yell,
"Fine job!"
That is my favorite clip.
Yeah. No, I enjoy that track, especially night racing there. So hopefully, if they do add it to the schedule, that's the kind of racing that we're going to get, not a day race.
Yeah, I mean, I do feel like that track, especially the last time we saw it, was fairly worn out. And considering the fact that it's been untouched now for a couple of years, I can't imagine how worn out that surface is going to be. Might even have some kind of feeling of old Atlanta almost, although it's a lot more rounded than old Atlanta.
Old Atlanta, I mean, it's also a little bit lower banked as well.
Yeah. But Tyler, you want to give some thoughts on this before
Now, like I said, I was, even though SVG completely dominated the Mexico City race, it was actually, what, for the next gen, it was a fairly solid race. Yeah, I do agree with Jamie. It does suck that it's going to be 1 year, but I see why with the World Cup. But now Chicagoland, it got a lot of hate back in the late 2010s because of, I think, yeah, because of the 550 package. And just the Gen 6 cars sucked at mile and a halves because of there a lot, I think, yeah, the mile and a half sucked with the Gen 6 car later in the later years.
I think we only got one 550 race on the Chicagoland circuit
Still,
before it got taken off.
still, that's why a lot of people hated on it because of the 550 package in 2019. They didn't really care for it. But my thing is with the Gen 7 car having such good mile and a half races, especially at places like Miami and what's another really worn out track they race on? Not really,
Kansas is
besides
kind of getting
Miami,
that
really.
way.
Kansas.
I think Kansas
I
is
believe
probably
Las
the second
Vegas is
most
getting
worn
there
out
too as
mile
well.
and a half, honestly.
No, Las Vegas, because Las Vegas was last repaved in 06 and Kansas was repaved in 2012.
Okay. Yes, it just
But
feels
yeah,
like
they're
Vegas
getting up there.
stayed in better shape than.
But like I'm saying, I'm talking like the Chicagoland hasn't been paved since it opened in, I believe, 2001.
Yep.
And the track is going to be rough. It's going to be bumpy. It's going to have the lane grease, or what do you heck you call it, the crack
Sleepers.
sealers on it, which is going to make it just as it's going to make it just as slick. And I do agree with the night race. The cars will probably be a little bit easier to handle with a cooler track. And during the day, the cars are be way more of a handful, even though that'd be a really cool race. But summertime in Illinois is 90 degrees. It's deathly hot. Or not deathly hot.
The Chicago Street Course on July 4th weekend.
That was just a. But like I said, Chicagoland, I think it'll put on a great show, regardless if it's a day or night race, in my personal opinion.
Yep. And I will say I like the fact that that as we're cycling through. I mean, obviously, it's a little unfortunate that we lost two of the road courses out the middle of the summer, but hopefully that'll lead to a little bit more of a spread out schedule for the road courses in 2020 in 2026, because I feel like that was one problem, is that we essentially had the month of SVG where SVG and the road courses basically just owned about a 3 week stretch. About a 3 week
Yeah,
stretch
3 week
there.
stretch, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, 3 out of 5 weeks in that summer stretch were all road courses. And one of the ovals we didn't even get to see most of your normal oval stars because they got wiped out at Atlanta.
And then Dover, it was just actually Dover wasn't too bad actually.
Yeah,
I kind of
Dover was kind of the back to normal once we got through all 3 road courses. But it was what was it? Was it Pocono or Michigan? Yeah, it was Pocono. Yeah, in between Mexico and the other 2 road races. It was Pocono, Atlanta was our 2 week reprieve.
Mm-hmm.
But
And then 3 straight road courses, Dover, then Indy. Before we move on to Iowa, before we move on to the Brickyard thing, how did you guys feel about the TNT stretch? And we're getting ready to go back into NBC starting this weekend.
All right, well, I will start this one off. I think, honestly, when it comes to the TV broadcast, I feel like it started out pretty decent and just kind of slowly devolved more and more into kind of a lot of those Fox type habits as opposed to the prime habits. And it probably felt worse than it actually was because it definitely devolved very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, after the is a because it had to follow up the 5-week stretch on Prime, which was amazing. It was definitely not done any favors in the court of public opinion on that one.
It also
But
didn't help the fact that at least it was 100 times. At least TNT did way better. I mean, minus a couple of the bad shots. I mean, I still think TNT outperformed Fox by a long mile.
I don't think it's quite as far as it, especially for a broadcaster that was brand new to this. I feel like the fact that they, I guess the question would be is, did they study too much Fox film as to how to cover a NASCAR race? Because Fox is not what you want to be watching if you're trying to figure out how to cover a NASCAR race.
They should have don't watch their old footage back in the late 2010s, because that was some pretty good coverage, like late 2010s TNT.
Or watch Amazon Prime the 5 weeks prior to them,
Exactly.
but
It
that
was
was also probably too soon. You can't watch the 5 weeks prior and then immediately have those changes implemented for your
right. Jayme,
So
what do you got on
I'm
this?
curious to see how it goes looking forward, but I will say the fact that they were able to cover the in-season tournament pretty effectively, and I actually quite like the in-season tournament as a whole, and I can't wait to see it next year.
And honestly, like, I'm not gonna get too much into like the broadcasting aspect of everything, because you gotta look at the era of NASCAR in each section. Like, you have the startup, you have everyone's excited. Then you have that for end of the first quarter going into the second quarter, where now everyone's not nearly as excited that the season's going. You're just kind of getting into the groove of things. And then here comes Prime and TNT, when you have the in season tournament. Oh, cool. Now our energy's up and we're excited because this is a whole new concept. And you're starting it off with a crown jewel race and the 600, right?
Yes. And Prime did start with the 600,
Oh,
yes.
Prime starting off with the Crown
Yeah.
Jewel race, yeah.
Yeah. I was,
Sorry,
because I said Prime and TNT.
Yeah.
But it's it's kind of unfair to kind of judge them all based off of that, because you got to understand like the wave of emotions and the energy levels of where we are in the season. And now that the in season tournament is out, cool. Now we're like, our energy is still kind of out there, and uh, we only got 4 more races until the playoff starts, and now we're ramping up again. We're starting to really look at the matchups on the cut line. Where are these drivers at? Did they get any stage points? Where are we at with the in season championship? Where are the points at with those? Where are those drivers going? So now we got things to actually look forward to, and we've gotten over that hump. We're at the mid to end of the third quarter, and we're getting ready to hit the fourth quarter of playoffs. So we're in a good spot of NASCAR where the energy is going to be up, and I think broadcasting is going to be better because of our excitement. It's going to be better.
It's also a different booth this year in NBC to look forward to as well. With Rick Allen, everybody knows about Rick Allen being replaced by Lee Diffie. You got Steve Letarte and I believe Jeff Burton as the voices, those three.
Yeah, I like Letarte.
Yeah,
I
I
think
like
he's going to be a
Letarte,
good
although
addition
I'm
for that.
curious to see what his chemistry looks like without Dale Jr. there to work with, because I think those two worked really well together, specifically. But I'm definitely willing to wait and see before I say, oh yeah, no, he's not good without Dale Jr.
I'm a
Yeah,
huge fan of Lee Diffie though.
Make
yeah, same.
his broadcast partners too. So
We just want that cohesion to exist amongst them.
Yeah.
yep. But yeah, so as we are talking about the in-season tournament finale and the Brickyard 400 as a whole at the weekend, started off with a very dominant Xfinity Series race led, I believe, majority of the race was led by Connor Zillisch, although he didn't actually win a single stage. He won when it mattered, and he crossed the line first, but that's not what most people were talking about come Saturday afternoon by the checkered flag, people were talking about something completely differently, and I think we all know we were all kind of expecting it. And yeah, late in the day yesterday, we got the official news. Austin Hill was suspended one race in the NASCAR Xfinity Series for right rearing Eric Almirola at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway during the NASCAR Xfinity Series race. First off, did you guys both get a chance to actually see the wreck itself?
Yeah, I was watching that race.
Yeah. So I will let's go ahead and let Jayme talk first about the wreck and what he thought about.
What you got, Jayme?
Oh boy, the I I understand emotions, I really do, but time and time again we see the the hit in the left rear to force them to go head first into a wall. It is simply not okay. I don't care who does it. It is not okay um to do that in any stage of racing. I don't care where you're at. Just a cheap move. And what the thing that gets me is like he he went on record to say that he was going to try and be a model driver for the drivers that were underneath him. He openly said that, and then you go right on. They pan to him sitting there when he's getting told he'd be parked, and he's saying and he openly says, "Well, NASCAR can go f themselves." That's that's where like he does not care. He knows he did it on purpose, and he still didn't want to accept the punishment that NASCAR was giving him because of the reckless driving. That is like he. I don't care where he goes. He's made an instant anti fan out of me just in that one instance. I don't care what team he drives for. He could drive for Hendrick, and I will still boo the crap out of that man anytime I see him on a racetrack.
I wouldn't be shocked if Almirola pays him back. But my thing on that is like I said, it was a fucking, pardon my language, it was a fucking cheap shot. And the fact is Almirola hit a spot on the track where there was no safer barrier at probably 100 what, at least over 120 miles an hour.
Yeah, probably upwards of like 140 because you're getting towards the high speed of the. Because you were in the short shoot, so you did have a corner before that slowing you up a little bit.
He did slow up a little bit because he was sideways, like they were saving it, and then he probably scrubbed off a little speed. But the fact is, it's still like that's dangerous. Austin Hill play stupid games, win stupid prizes is how I look at it.
Yep.
Almirola is just lucky that he didn't get injured.
He actually said that was harder than the Kansas hit he took. Is what he said. I believe in an interview. I believe is what he said. But my point stands is the fact that like, no matter what track it is, you don't right hook somebody. That's just like a no brainer for any sport, motorsport. Because right hooking somebody, you don't scrub that much speed, especially with like an Indianapolis going to the wall like that. He didn't scrub that much speed, and he's lucky he's not injured. I honestly, personally, I think they should have not only lost all the was it? Yeah, playoff points, but I think they should have at least fined him at least 50,000, and docked him.
Financial fine? I thought there was a financial.
No, there wasn't.
Involved.
At least not as far as I saw. But I think they should have docked him at least 50 to 75 driver's points for that, because that was just completely uncalled for.
Okay, I gotta look this up because I thought for sure I saw money fine.
I think he should lose. I think he should lose more than his playoff points. I think he should lose at least, like I said, 50 driver points.
I saw the race suspension. I saw the loss of points. I don't remember if I saw anything financial. But
how many points
while
did he end up losing?
While Ryan's looking that up, though, Tyler, do you agree with the one race suspension, or should have been two?
Well, I think it should have been 2, honestly, in my personal opinion.
That's where I was feeling as well. Like
That
a one
was
race suspension with all that. That's more of like a slap on the wrist than NASCAR like dropping the hammer to stop this thing from happening.
that was one of the most one of the most blatant intentional wrecks I've ever seen.
Well,
It was
Yeah, for sure.
It was
that
blatant.
point, though, they've kind of dug their own grave there with that one, for lack of a better term. The fact that they went and that they've given out these one race suspensions for other right rears, it would seem fairly unfair if they went and decided that this one they were going to do it too.
I mean, Chase Elliott's wasn't as obvious. I mean, it still was intentional, but it wasn't as obvious if you think about it. You could see his gloves in the video. He turns right into his right rear. He knows it's premeditated. He knows what he's doing. Whether he wants to admit it or not, he knew what he was doing. But back to my thing. Speaking of Austin Hill, anybody want to comment on Richard Childress defending him, and how just him as a whole just spiraling downhill?
I didn't see that.
He was I don't know. I don't remember the exact quote, but he was Richard Childress was defending him, and he was pissed off at NASCAR. It was a whole thing right after the wreck happened.
The thing I was kind of surprised by is that he didn't get a full-on just race. He didn't get kicked out of that race.
Oh, I would have.
Moment.
I mean,
oh, he got parked for the last 5 laps.
It wasn't the last 5. It was just a 5-lap penalty.
Yeah, it was just a 5-lap penalty. My personal opinion is they should have parked him. I agree, they should have parked him.
The final 10, 15 laps.
But didn't that start the overtimes?
Don't think so.
The Xfinity race didn't finish at all, I don't think.
The Xfinity race did finish.
Oh, they did? Okay. I thought they got rained out.
Yeah, no, they definitely didn't get rained out.
But still, though, that was the dumbest move I've ever seen. I mean, we've seen intentional wrecks. Carl Edwards and Brad Keselowski, 2010 Atlanta. Everybody's favorite incident, Matt Kenseth versus Joey Logano. Let's see another one. I mean, I think William Byron intentionally wrecked somebody too, I believe, right? Or
I'm not sure. You're kind of like just labeling off drivers without any actual like facts behind it. Like if you're going to say a driver, like you have to specify like the where and when. Don't just go off of assumptions.
No, yeah, the Atlanta 2010 was the Edwards versus Keselowski. The 2015 was at Martinsville, but that's the most iconic one. But anyway, it's Connor Zillisch, and it was Connor Zillisch wins Indy, giving Dale Jr. his 100th win at Junior Motorsports. Still foreshadowed by, like I said, Ryan. Besides, what's your opinion?
I'm not seeing a money suspension.
Okay, so there wasn't
no money fine. That is insane.
I think it should have been at least $50,000. He should have been fined.
Yeah, exactly.
How many points did he end up losing?
I also
besides the playoff
point taken away. All I saw was the one race suspension, and essentially points don't matter if you lose points at that point, because regular season championship, you still don't get any playoff points that you can use.
Regardless, I mean, it still hit him very well, because that's still a big paycheck if you make the playoffs, even in Xfinity.
Yeah, well, I mean, he was gonna make the playoffs regardless, though, because his win it.
He's not getting the waiver, right? So if anybody wants to notice, they made I think it was a rule last year. They revised it this year. If you were to get suspended, you don't get a chance to get a waiver, and you lose all the playoff points that you gathered from that until you get suspended. He can still earn playoff
You get a
points.
different waiver, because you've got the normal waiver that we're used to, specifically and typically for medical issues. But then you've also got the.
Let's try to speed it up a little bit. Let's try to keep it under an hour.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah. So, but yeah, there's two different waivers now. There's the traditional waiver, the one that's typically used for medical issues, where drivers can get into the playoffs and suffer no other real effects of it. And then there's the new suspension waiver, where you can get your win can still get you into the playoffs. You can still compete for the championship, but you just won't have any of your playoff points.
From the suspension back, you can still earn playoff points.
Nope.
No, you don't. Oh, you can't earn any.
That's why the point fine wouldn't make a big difference, because he can win the regular season championship and still not have
earn any.
So yeah, but then getting into the Cup race, though, we did have, for the second week in a row, we had a rain delay within 10 laps to go. And for the second week in a row, it made it to the conclusion of the race. And we end up with a double overtime situation where Bubba Wallace ends up gutting it out to win over Kyle Larson in what was a classic NASCAR finish.
That was a good finish.
As the final overtimes were happening there.
There was some hard. Oh, so yeah. I'm not the biggest Bubba fan, but I'm gonna give him 100% kudos. That was a hard fought win, especially fending off Kyle Larson. Kyle Larson obviously has more experience. Well, obviously, like having known the track and having a super fast car all day, he dominated the race.
Yep.
But when it comes down to the thing, the performance that Bubba put on in those last few overtimes, I honestly impressed me. I gained a lot of respect for Bubba because of that. That was a hell of a finish.
That it was. Jayme,
But,
you want to give some quick thoughts on the double overtime finish for Bubba?
Give me one more thing while he's unmuting. Also, if you guys wanted to recap a few weeks ago when we were making silly bets, now that Bubba Wallace won, you get to see me in a banana suit after Watkins Glen.
All right. Well, I'll give my thoughts, I guess. We did have, one other thing that happened during that overtime. I'm glad to see Bubba win. I will say, from a commentary and talking about the playoff cut line perspective, Bubba Wallace does make that gap at the cut line massive in terms of the.
He does. Yes, he does.
Yeah, in terms of this, because now Ryan Preece is, I think, 40 points below.
Yeah, I think it's 40.
The cut line as the first guy who might be able to shake some things up, which definitely is not the most exciting for the fans. But for Bubba Wallace, he's not here to be entertaining. He's here to try and win races and get himself into the playoffs. He has done that now for the first time in his NASCAR Cup Series career.
I will say right now, after Indy, which we should really start doing this here soon because of the playoffs being here. But right now, the only safe driver right now on points is Tyler Reddick.
Yeah.
He has a 138-point gap.
Yeah, and the only reason some of these other ones are a little less safe is because of the fact that we still have races like Daytona, races like
Watkins Glen.
See some wild winners.
We also have Richmond. We also have Richmond.
Same kind of speed, and either Kyle Busch or Austin Dillon win their way to the playoffs.
Just remember, we have two short tracks a what road course, and Daytona.
Yep.
Which honestly, like you got but it's the funny part is this is the one time where this is the most different winners we've had since the format implemented, where every single driver could actually be in the playoffs to have a win. Like it could happen. There's 4 races and there's 3 spots left.
Am I just completely forgetting the fact that 2022 happened?
Oh, never mind then.
2022, literally, if it wasn't for Kurt Busch, we would have had 16 different winners. If Kurt Busch had not been injured, we would have had literally all the spots filled up with winners.
And but the biggest thing is, like I said, Chris Buescher and Ryan Preece. Chris Buescher's 42 to the good, and Ryan Preece is 42 under the cut line.
Yeah, so that'll be something to keep an eye on as we go further down. Jayme, I think, is still having mic trouble, so we will if that resolves itself, we'll be able to go ahead and get to him. But
green flags and black flags until he gets back.
Yep. Okay, go ahead.
My green flags, honestly, I'm gonna have to give it to. This is the rare W by NASCAR for actually like suspending Austin Hill for something like that.
Right.
And I have 2 green flags. The other green flag is kudos to Bubba for putting a full race together. But my black flag, and I'm not even going to go with the elephant in the room. I'm actually going to go with the black flag. Christopher Bell still struggling. After starting off, 3 in a row after Daytona?
Yep.
He's been on a downward spiral, same with William Byron. Those 2 are my black flags.
Granted, it's not like he had much further to go up when he wins that many races early in the year.
But what happened, Bell?
Downfall, but still.
Did the summer have the heebie-jeebies, and you guys just not learn how to? Did you guys like lose your talent for the summer? Go on hiatus?
Yep.
What about you, Ryan?
Yeah, I mean, that's, for me, my green flag, I'm going to give it to NASCAR for a different reason. I'm going to give it to them for actually getting last week and this week's races into to their completion, despite the rain delay late in both of those events. Say with the late rain delays, being able to actually get the races completed is a major step, and not just ending them early, which is nice. So definitely kudos to NASCAR.
That just shows you
getting those races done. And then for a black flag, I won't give it to the obvious of Austin Hill going and wrecking him, because I feel like that's going to be an overused one for this week. So let's go ahead and go with.
There's a couple different ones you could do too, as well. Like, there's quite a bit of black flags we could have done, actually.
Yeah, I feel like there's a few of them, but there's also
the Xfinity package is one that comes to me.
I don't know. I actually like the Xfinity race and the Xfinity series.
Hold on.
Jayme needs to be let back in. If you can do that while I come up with a black flag real quick.
Yep, there you are. Can you
back in? All right.
Speak, Jayme?
My black flag. I'm gonna go ahead and. I'll give the black flag to the fan base for the amount of people attacking Bubba Wallace after this win.
Oh my God! Yeah.
That is gonna be my black flag for the week. Yep, there we go.
Oh, you took my black flag.
Yep. So, yeah, that was the one I came up with. But, Jayme, you want to give some quick thoughts on the Indy race along with your green and black flag?
You can hear me, right?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yep.
Okay. My phone's doing this weird thing. No, I mean, Indy race as a whole, thought it was interesting. Definitely had its front runners, per usual with his car. Once you get up front, that's all that matters. Tire fall off didn't seem to matter as much. Once you got to the front, you pulled away.
Unless you're Penske.
Typical Typical Gen 7 car. Typical. Green flag goes to I would say, I mean, you already mentioned NASCAR. You already mentioned Bubba Wallace. Uh, Kind of hard not to give it to Bubba, considering everything that he's gone through. The remarks of, "Oh, you can't win on a traditional course," or if you do win, it's because weather impacted and it's rain delay or washed out or whatever. So I love it for Bubba that he won a crown jewel. I hate it. I hate the fan base that they just can't ever just be happy. There's always going to be the amount of hate that he got for winning Indy is ridiculous.
Oh my god,
So
it's horrible.
Yeah, I
That's
think it's
like
gonna
the
leave.
second most amount of hate I've ever seen for an Indy win.
yeah, and it's ridiculous. Like he deserved that win through and through. He did everything he needed to do to lock in that win. He held off Kyle Larson twice, and that's a feat in its own. If you can hold off Kyle Larson when
You're
he has
doing
two,
something good.
yeah, especially when he has two cracks at you.
Yep. Two cracks on him, and I believe he actually had slightly fresher tires too.
Yeah,
And more
yeah.
fuel, I believe, as well.
Well, more fuel is actually a little bit worse on in that situation because it's a little bit more weight.
Also, before we continue on to our race picks and Iowa preview, like this actually, like the hate on Bubba Wallace, guys, stop with the hate. He's a racing driver. Yes, he's of color. He was a damn good win. Stop with the hate. Nobody needs it. He won that race fair and square. This goes for every athlete. The death threats got to stop. The hate's got to stop. We as fans don't like seeing people go after somebody because they win. It's just like not cool, man. And you guys have anything to add to that?
Well, I was kind of referencing it because I feel like some people might not know the race I was referencing when I said that this is one of the probably the second worst when I seen hate is I still remember back in I think it was 2017 the death threats that Takuma Sato got after winning the Indy 500. Yeah, as the first Japanese racing driver to win at Indianapolis, and it's like, what culture is the the big building in the infield based on? Literally a Japanese pagoda,
Mm-hmm.
inspired by Japan, and just happened to be a Japanese driver winning. But yeah, the amount of death threats there was insane. But yeah, regardless of who it is,
Just like I said,
you
just
know,
stop
white,
the hate.
black, Asian, whatever they are race car drivers, and they are doing their best to entertain
They're
all
also
of us. And
they are also human beings.
yeah, they are
They have
human beings as well. So
Jayme,
yeah,
you got anything to say on that?
No, I mean you guys pretty much summed it up. Like it's like I'll put this out there because I don't want it to get misconstrued. Like do I like Bubba? Yes, I like Bubba. Would I say that I'm a fan of his? No, I'm not a fan of Bubba's. I'm a fan of Chase Elliott and Hendrick, and those are my boys. But let a driver get his flowers when he deserves them. I don't
And it
care
was a
who it is.
well-deserved win.
I can't stand Dennis the Menace, but I give that man his flowers, and I still pick him on a week to week basis because I know he has a shot of winning on almost any given track.
Mm-hmm.
is that foreshadowing your pick for this week?
I will leave that to be left unsaid for now.
Yeah, and
But
I'll say the same thing, even though it's for slightly different reasons. Hating on drivers who can't for not being able to win at certain types of without certain types of tracks. Guys like McDowell, SVG. I mean, they have a skill set, and it just happens to be tailor built to a specific type of racetrack. It does not make their wins
That's what
any
they grew up
less
on.
impressive when they go and absolutely stomp the field like SVG did at Mexico.
yeah, yeah.
Now, one more thing before we continue.
Yep.
Last thing before we continue. Not only like yeah, he won a rain shortened Talladega race back in 2021. That was actually an impressive win regardless of the rain being there. He's a good super speedway driver, Bubba.
And
He's a good
every
super
single
speedway
team
driver.
on
People
the-
just
Sorry, go ahead.
And not only that, and then he went out in 2022 where 2311 completely dominated Kansas and had one of the most dominating wins of his career at Kansas.
Yeah, because the thing about that Dago win that I feel like people forget or people discount when they say, oh, yeah, you want a rain shortened race. There were 38, 39 drivers on that track. Every single one of them knew the rain was coming and could not hold back because they knew they had to fight for every inch they could get. I mean, there was not a single driver that was surprised that the rain came or that the rain was enough to stop the race. There was not a single driver on that racetrack that day that didn't think the rain was coming or didn't know it was on its way.
But before I got interrupted, but like I said, the Kansas race he led majority of that race. The guy has speed. He just needs like what my friend Tyler said a couple weeks ago. He needs to get out of his own head. He's a hell of a race car driver when he's not letting shit get to his head. And contrary to belief, Bubba Wallace is. I mean, he's actually like. I would honestly say one of the upper towards the best of the rest. He's actually a fairly good race car driver. All right, let's move on to Iowa. Going racing in the cornfields.
Yep. Team Penske looking for, say, the defending winners of this race, looking to try and bounce back as they have not had a win since June 1st. And we're now, by the time the race happens, we'll be already into the month of August. So they will have gone a full 2 months without a race win for one of what we typically consider one of the top three, the Mount Rushmore type teams of the sport, to go winless for 2 months is
That's
a
crazy.
little bit concerning.
I think the most promise at all three of them has been Ryan Blaney because Logano hasn't been really anywhere. Same with Cindric.
Yep. And of course, we've got race picks. I've got the wheel pulled up, and let's go ahead and see who's going to have the first overall pick. Looks like it's going to be Jayme.
Oh boy, Jayme.
Jayme gets the first overall pick.
I get the first pick?
Yep.
Who's
he going to take? Will he go ahead and
should I take at Iowa?
It's only been one race, and I think the most comparable track is Richmond.
I mean, I kind of foreshadowed it. I'm going with the Menace.
Okay.
All right, Dennis the Menace.
I'll write that down.
Trying not to go back-to-back weeks with the same driver.
Yeah, well, next year you won't be able to do the same driver in
ever. Yeah, that's definitely gonna be interesting.
I get to pick now. Yay, my turn. You know what? I could go ahead and make the kind of homerish pick because we did mention this track being very similar to the racetrack at Richmond, and obviously RCR and Kyle Busch were very good there. But I won't pick Kyle Busch because I don't want to curse him. Let's go ahead. I'll go with Christopher Bell because I know he's won a lot of the Xfinity races at this racetrack before. I think it's his time to try and bounce back into victory lane. Christopher Bell.
Well, Tyler got off easy.
It does happen.
I have a couple of them, but
And Tyler.
I actually, because you guys took a couple of goods, I actually have a pretty good pool to choose from, so this is going to be rough. Because
Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, William Byron, all still on the table.
Although from last year, they didn't really show much speed at Iowa last year. Or Larson did, but Elliott not so much.
Yeah, but Chase Elliott's, if you're looking for a consistent driver, Chase Elliott has yet to have a DNF and has finished all but one lap of the entire season.
You know what? Make it 3 in a row. I'm going Chase Elliott.
All right. So Chase Elliott will be Tyler's pick. I think that is all the picks. And
Greg
Tyler,
is going to be flabbergasted when he sees race picks and sees that Kyle Larson was not chosen.
yeah. And that's going to
I
make a clamoring for that number 1 overall pick when we start doing the wheel
Oh yeah.
tomorrow for the rest of the picks. So we will go ahead and get the rest of the picks in over the next day or two. And Tyler, you want to take us out here?
all right. Thank you guys for
Oh,
watching
hey,
tonight.
yeah.
Oh, trivia time.
Oh, sorry.
Man.
We love you, Jamie.
Man. All right, so it's not necessarily going to be Iowa based just because
There's not much of a free.
there's not much to really pull from. So we're just going to go off of it this way. As we all know, Connor Zillisch gave Dale Jr. his 100th win. So my question is, what year and what driver gave Dale Jr. and JRM their first win?
First win.
That
We'll
would
let
have been.
Ryan. We'll
Ooh,
let
I
Ryan go
got that.
first, and then Tyler,
Go.
because after the past couple weeks, I was like, let me just do a gimme because I can't be hogging up all the points over here.
All right. Well, I mean, if we're talking gimmies, is it just Dale Jr. at Daytona? Because that is a absolutely devastating 1-2 combo.
Well, first team win for Junior Racing Motorsports.
All right. Well, I will go ahead and take Dale Jr. at Daytona.
What year?
Wait. Oh, we have to have the year too. I don't know what year do we know what year Junior Motorsports opened, or is that not information we can know unless we know it off our memory?
I cannot give you that information.
All right, so it probably happened in the first year of operation. Let's go ahead and say 2008. Junior at Daytona, 2008.
Nope.
2004 2004 Martin Truex Jr. I don't know what track.
Well, Truex didn't win at too many tracks in the Xfinity Series. I think he won Dover. Yeah, it was one track that he won quite a bit in both Cup and Xfinity in that time frame. I just don't know if Junior Motorsports was formed that early. I thought it was formed a little bit later on.
So it's not 2004 because Dale Jr. was only a co-owner. He wasn't the owner. He became the owner in 2008.
Okay, so I have the right year. I just don't have the right
It would have been Brad.
driver or track.
Can I guess again since it was just? Can I guess again then? Because I think I have the right. It would have been Brad Keselowski in 2008.
Incorrect.
Damn.
All right.
So I guess I still stumped you. So it is Mark Martin. He gave Junior Racing JRM their first win at Las Vegas in 2008.
So third race into the season. Okay.
Yep, driving the number 5.
Yeah, I feel pretty
I
good
was
that
think-
I at
I
least
was
knew
thinking-
the year that I actually got the year Junior Motorsports opened.
That was GG. I actually do, yeah. I was thinking, like, as soon as you said 2000, I'm like, immediately, like,
So-
thought Brad Keselowski because, like, he was dominant back then.
So just for points purposes, I'll take 1 point for the driver, give Ryan a point for the year.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I know he became full owner in 2008, but that was still a pretty damn good guess for 2004, though.
Yeah, it was a good one, but it was not the right one.
Yep.
Now, actually, before we go, since it's the third team, what other 2 teams have hit the 100 race win mark? And this goes from Cup, Xfinity, or Truck.
All right.
Well, I mean, definitely Hendrick.
Well, then 4 then.
Yeah, I mean, Hendrick Gibbs have got to have them. Has Penske gotten 100 wins?
Nope. Go ahead. What's your guess?
RCR.
Nope.
All right, so it's Hendrick Gibbs.
Junior Racing Motorsports.
Yeah, Junior Motorsports. How many
So there's
are
one
there
more.
total?
4.
Okay, so there's one more team. Wait, we're forgetting
more.
a really obvious one. Wood
2
Brothers
more.
with the 100th win with.
You're missing 2 more. Well, now technically 2 more, but it's under a new name.
Oh,
Okay.
Petty.
Yeah. Yeah, Petty,
So the
and
four,
then
the
Wood
four.
Brothers was a
Yep,
one
it's
with-
Hendrick, Petty, Wood Brothers, and JRM.
Wait, huh?
What?
Okay,
For the
go through them again.
Got Hendrick,
Yep,
Petty,
yep,
JRM,
yep.
and Wood Brothers. Because I don't think Gibbs has hit 100 in the Cup, have they?
I thought you were talking about combined between the 3 series because their Xfinity wins would absolutely take them up.
Yeah.
Over that.
Oh, like who? Oh, yeah.
'Cause I
Like
thought you were talking about
Yeah.
the combined.
That's what I
stats.
was thinking too.
So
oh, there's
like,
a lot more than I was saying. Like which?
Oh,
like,
you're just
in
talking about
specific-
like within their series.
Yeah.
Okay, even then,
Oh,
I
okay.
still think, yeah, considering the fact that Kyle Busch racked up what, like 40 plus wins in his time at Gibbs. Denny Hamlin has almost 50. I mean,
Yeah.
they're half
Okay.
that.
So yeah, it's over. They have over 200.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. They have.
I completely forgot about Gibbs. That was my bad.
Because that was one of the first ones I was like, okay, yeah, Hendrick Gibbs are locks.
Oh my god. Oh yeah. 481 total wins combined through all series.
Yeah. Yeah, when you factor in that they only have a cup and a cup Xfinity, and I guess maybe Arca's being counted in that.
42 wins.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, let's
And 2 truck wins.
Okay. Yep. They did have a short truck program, I guess, before KBM came along.
All right, guys. Anything else before we close out tonight?
I think that's it.
Let's go get that corn.
All right.
Oh, you're muted.
All right. So thank you guys for watching tonight. Thank you to the Alkali Project for the intro and outro music. Check out our YouTube channel. Check out our TikTok at Handed Down Sports. We have a Patreon. Go check out our Patreon. It's subscribe for $1. It gives us the latest updates, the latest snippets. Check out our community page on YouTube because every once in a while I'll be posting like questions and posts. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe on our YouTube channel. And don't forget our sponsor tonight, Circle B Diecast, down below. Click on the link below for $5 off your next diecast order. And thank you to all of our other sponsors that will be listed below. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to hit that notifications and have a good night, guys.
Deuces.